it's your girl Talia, and I'm in a new area of my house today, but I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys in this video. I feel like it's been a minute since I did that. Usually if I do sit down and talk with you guys, it's during like a get ready with me video. I just feel like chilling, just talking one-on-one with you guys as I would with a friend. I did ask you guys quite some time ago if I should do a advice Q&A. So I do still have those questions screenshotted on my phone, so I'm gonna go through them. But basically this video is kind of gonna be like a girl talk type of thing. If you guys do enjoy this, please do let me know so I could continue making these, maybe? Make it like a series on my channel? I don't really know. All I know is I feel the need to do this video. Maybe it'll help you guys out. Maybe it'll help me out. I don't know. When I'm sad, I like to give people advice. Is anybody else like that? Anyways, I'm gonna get into your questions. So the first one is how to overcome the need of another's approval. This is hard because humans were just like wired to seek approval from people, whether it's your mom or your dad or your best friends or your grandparents. And honestly, it's freaking annoying because I just want to do whatever I want to do and not need approval from anybody else, because life is short. You should be doing whatever makes you happy. My best advice for this would be find your why. And by that I mean figure out why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. For example, maybe you want to make money to provide for your family. Maybe you want to share your ideas to help other people. Because if your goal is strong enough, if your why is strong enough, nobody else's opinions are gonna matter. Nobody's judgments are gonna be able to distract you. That's where you wanna be. Also, another key point that could be actually an answer to a lot of these questions, understand your haters' motives. Now, this can be tricky because for family, if they're criticizing you, it may be because they care about you and they're just concerned and they want what's best for you. I'm talking about the people that barely know you, especially people over the internet. But it could be people in your school too. Haters are jealous. They feel threatened by you because you're doing something that they wouldn't dare to do, or you have certain features that they wish they had. The list goes on. And being hateful is the way that they attack you. But it's important to not ever let them get you down to their level or lower. Feel sorry for them, forgive them even though no apology was given, and forget about them. Move forward, you have an amazing life ahead of you. Okay, this one's a little bit of a breather. How to be successful with YouTube. I would just say stay consistent, be you, because people are gonna subscribe because they like your personality. And you don't have to have a fancy camera to start. I think a majority of YouTubers started with whatever they had. They didn't start with the fanciest equipment. Just start filming with whatever you have. Be creative, which is so freaking hard. I struggle with that a whole lot because I have other things in my life where all my creativity goes, and it doesn't always go straight to YouTube. And I do have a list of video ideas on my phone that I just haven't been able to put into action, especially because sometimes it's really hard because I'm a one-man show, you know? Like, I do it all. I don't have somebody that comes and films for me, so it's hard to do all the things that I want to do. And I think I stress about that the most when it comes to YouTube, is just being creative. It's especially crappy when you're not feeling inspired or motivated, which I've been feeling lately, and it's pissing me off. But I think those are like my main tips. Just be yourself, be consistent, and be creative with your video ideas. Oh, also be sure to always interact with your audience. That's super important. How to be confident in your body without feeling the need to compare yourself to others. Oof. Okay, this is a huge problem, especially with social media, because you're exposed to so many different people. Models, Instagram models, fitness gurus, whatever you call them. And that's how my eating disorder started, was seeing those fitness models and just being like, dang, I wish I had that toned, flat stomach, you know? And it honestly breaks my heart to see people younger than my sister developing those thoughts. And eating disorders are very serious thing. And it's also, I don't know how to explain this. It also sucks because it's become such a common thing that now if you tell people, it's almost like Oh yeah, everybody has an eating disorder. Oh yeah, everyone has anxiety. Everyone has depression. So it's kind of almost like shrugged off a little bit by a lot of people. And I think we tend to forget that everybody's body is different. We all need a different amount of calories to be healthy, or simply because we're not all the same height. We're not all the same weight. We all have different metabolisms. Like, there's so many different things that we tend to not always think about. We watch videos like what I eat in a day, and we're like, oh, okay, this is roughly like this amount of calories, so I should be eating that too in order to look like that. But that's not true. And of course, we're not gonna always look in the mirror and be like, dang, she real cute, even though that should be the case. Whether we're bloated or a little bit overweight or underweight, or we have stretch marks, we are all still beautiful, and we should all still look in the mirror and hype ourselves up. Just because you don't look like the person next to you doesn't mean you're any less beautiful. And it's hard giving advice on this because, one, because it's so much easier said than done, and two, no matter what I say, it doesn't change anything. It has to come from within. You have to make the decision on your own to love yourself, because nobody else can do that for you. Which is also important if you're going into a relationship. You can't get into a relationship and expect that person to carry that load. You have to love yourself before you get in a relationship. And so does that person. You guys both have to love each other and come together as one. You can't count on one another to provide that love that can only come from within, you know? Does that make sense? Is it bad that I hate going out? I'm really not that type of person. No, absolutely not. And I really wanted to talk about this because I am 100% an introvert. And there's different types of introverts. I remember seeing this quote on Pinterest. Pinterest has it all, guys. Let me see if I can pull it up, actually. I'm the first one. Type 1, they like to be alone. They like being quiet and in a quiet environment. They prefer staying in because there's too much stimulation outside. They get tired very quickly when they are exposed to the outdoors for too long. They can be in their room as long as possible without getting bored. There's always something going on in their mind or their desk, which is 100% me. I could be out for like an hour or two and just feel exhausted. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's the type of person that you are. It's okay to be that way. Whereas an extrovert, you're on the total opposite end of the scale, which is okay as well. But I think it's important for both parties to understand each other. Like, you're not lame because you want to stay inside and be by yourself. Or if you're always wanting to be out and socializing with people, that's okay too. But don't make each other feel bad. It's also important to not isolate yourself. You should go out and explore the world a little bit, but don't feel bad because you don't want to go out all the time. For example, if I go out and socialize with a big group of people, because I don't do it often, I'm exhausted for like the next 3 days just because I don't do it often. I enjoy time by myself or being indoors with the company of somebody else and just watching movies. I love that. It gets me so excited. People don't always understand, and that's okay. How to stop procrastinating. Some days I'm like, let's get this bread, and then other days I'm like, so like, I should film, but I'm gonna do this and this and this and this, and then maybe I'll film if I have time after doing this and this and this and this. You gotta work on your self-discipline. Actually, the answer to this is kind of like the first answer that I gave to the first question. You just gotta think about your why. Think about your goal. Think about why that's your goal, and don't let anything distract you from getting to your goal. Procrastinating is a habit that can be broken, so just stay committed and also be okay with failing. Learn from your mistakes and get up and continue on. What helps a lot is you could start a personal planner and write everything down that's on the agenda for the day and check it off, because checking things off the list is like the best feeling ever. How do I embrace my flaws? You gotta stop comparing yourself to others, which also goes into the loving your body question. It's just so easy to be scrolling on Instagram and automatically comparing your life to theirs when we all know that Instagram or just social media in general is the highlight reel. You're not seeing what goes on behind closed doors. Your self-worth and happiness has nothing to do with other people's looks or how they act. It's about you being happy with yourself regardless of your flaws. flaws. Happiness is 100% an inside job. A lot of people seem to think that just because someone has a gorgeous face or a perfect body, that they're happy. But those things don't bring us happiness. Focus on being a genuine person and taking moments of your day to be grateful. When you're happy on the inside, you automatically start to glow on the outside. Another really important thing is to surround yourself with people who lift you up. If you're surrounded by negative energy, it's not gonna do you any good. You gotta cut those people off. Also, another thing that could help is ending your day by celebrating what you love about yourself or little things that you accomplished during the day. Even just getting out of bed is a huge accomplishment, because that can be very hard to do. What do you do if a boy is using you and you don't want to break up with him? You gotta let him go. You gotta do what's best for you, because that's a form of self-love. And self-care is mega important. It doesn't always require money. Treating yourself to a spa day or a new pair of socks. I love socks. Cutting off negative people that you feel is just bringing your mood way down. Saying no to going to a party because you're just physically and mentally too exhausted to go. Saying no is okay. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. And cutting off negative people because that relationship isn't benefiting you, that also doesn't make you a bad person. You gotta look out for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are all you've got. You are always gonna have your back. Just remember that. How do you know if you have found the right guy? I would say, personally, they're not trying to change who you are. If anything, they're just encouraging you to be the very best version of yourself that you can be. They're committed and loyal to you. You don't have to ever think about or worry about them cheating, because they've made it clear to you that they are devoted to you. There ain't no room for no side chick. They make you happy is a super obvious one. They're respectful. They make you feel beautiful. The list could go on. I'm sure you're picking up what I'm laying down. Should the woman do the first step, or should a man be the chaser? It could be either one. Me personally, in my relationship, I don't know, was I kind of the chaser? I did make the first moves for a lot of things. I was the one who followed him on Instagram first. I think I slid into the DMs first. I invited him to my birthday party so I could hang out with him one-on-one. And then he eventually did ask me out. So if you do really like somebody, pursue them. Go for it. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. Advice on starting a healthy lifestyle. By the way, love you, Tal. I love you too. Take baby steps. You don't have to go in cold turkey. Is that the saying? Why is that a saying? Cold turkey. Instead of eating a sugary cereal for breakfast, swap it out for avocado toast or oatmeal. Instead of eating processed desserts, swap it out for some fruit. And then eventually it'll just get easier. I'll be back. I gotta pee. And we back. Is being too overly confident a thing? Because people say that to me all the time and I get called vain. So I did talk about this briefly in my Get Ready With Me that I recently did, but there is kind of a fine line between being cocky and confident. But I mentioned basically cockiness is more like shoving things in people's face and bringing them down, when confidence is just being content and loving yourself, which is such a beautiful thing. Confidence is freaking awesome. Own it, girl. I love it. It sounds strange, but how to make him miss me. Nah, it doesn't sound strange. I know that feeling. I'm sure a lot of us girls have been there before, and if there's any guys watching, I'm sure you have been in the same boat too. Rather than focusing on making him miss you, you gotta focus on bringing yourself to the next level. You gotta level up. The after breakup glow type thing, that is a real thing, by the way. You gotta focus on that glow up. Focus entirely on yourself. And if he happens to come around and you're willing to take him back, cool. But if not, there's tons of people on this planet. A certain somebody might enter your life when you least expect it. Advice on overcoming a big mistake you can't come back from. I love you. I love you too. And you can always come back from a mistake, no matter how big it is. Humans make mistakes. We're not perfect, and we have to forgive ourselves. And hopefully the people around us will forgive us too. The best thing you can do is own your mistake and learn from it. And the last question, how do you deal with stress? I don't really know anybody who doesn't deal with stress. Me personally, I'm stressed out like all the time. But what I personally do is, one, I'll put on some music that makes me just want to dance and not think about anything. I like to draw because I'm only focused on my drawing and nothing else. I think it's important to always put time aside to do something that we love and enjoy, because life is so short and we get so caught up in the grind and all of this stuff, which is fine, but it's also important to make sure that we're doing okay up here. Another thing is you could document your stress level on each day. Like you could keep a note on your phone, and for each day you could just write how stressed you are out of 10, and maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get worse. If it gets worse, you could potentially seek help, because seeking help is okay. I know I struggle with that because I don't like to ask people for help. I rather bottle it all up inside me, but I'm working on that. I think my last point on that would be to change your attitude. Think positive thoughts, don't overthink things, even though it's so hard. I'm a big overthinker. Overthinking is my middle name. And avoid perfectionism. Is that a word? I think so. Perfectionism. Failing is part of life, and it's how you learn and how you grow. That means you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're making moves. But I think that is all. That was my girl talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's a little bit helpful. Fingers crossed it was a little bit helpful. And to close this video, I just want to say you're all gorgeous and I'm mega proud of you. And I love you so, so very much. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.